Good morning. My name is Brad Hicks. I am the Executive Vice President of Highway Services at J.B. Hunt. I'm responsible for two of our reporting segments, which is our brokerage segment, ICS, as well as our truckload segment, JBT. In addition to that, I hold the distinct honor of being the Executive Vice President of People at J.B. Hunt. And while that might seem a little unorthodox, it certainly works for J.B. Hunt, and I think you'll see through our discussion this morning the connectivity that we have between the business and our human resources teams to stay aligned and drive value for the business and our customers. You know, being in the industry 28 years, I don't think that I have to tell you just how difficult and demanding this market we find ourselves in today, the complexity that exists. You know, we certainly always had freight cycles, but this one has been certainly very pronounced. It's been very elongated. I think it was even Craig Fuller back in February of 2022 that called it correctly, I might add. And here we sit 27 to 28 months later, and we still find ourselves in this difficult market. And certainly you heard Bill and Craig's conversation, and they touched on that and kind of where we're at and how we think about the future. You know, today what I'm going to focus on is really talking about the evolution of technology and supply chain industry, including our JB Hunt 360 platform, and really get to the end where we talk about how do we drive long-term value for our customers. You know, if we think about where the industry has been the last 5 to 8 years, the level of investment that we've seen in supply chain has been substantial. Billions of dollars have poured in a way to try and solve some of the industry's greatest challenges. We saw tech-only entrants come into supply chain and transportation. We wondered how the long-standing companies, the asset providers, would react to that level of change and what impact it might have on their own business. It created a lot of disruption, but it created a lot of value for our customers. And we certainly saw key elements where technology has benefited transportation and supply chain. And oftentimes it's a segment that was underinvested, right? There are a lot of manual processes, and even talking to customers over the decades that I've been in the industry, it was difficult for their supply chain groups to get funding for investment. And oftentimes they would rely on their carrier providers to assist with that and create solutions with technology on their behalf. But we've kind of been through this renaissance. But the reality is, you know, technology can't solve all the problems. This idea that perhaps we could eliminate all the people is probably a little too far-fetched. And so we think about how do we balance that technology with our people. And so if we think about our J.B. Hunt journey, you know, it goes back really to 2017 timeframe, and we were trying to understand our data. And when we look at all the information that we had and access to the data, it was showing us something. It was right there in front of us. Our website, the most visited landing page, was our load board. And we thought to ourselves, okay, is there a way for us to create a better experience for our carrier community in brokerage? And we talked to our carriers, and we listened, and we understood what was important to them and how we could perhaps create a technology that would benefit them from an efficiency standpoint. And so we launched Carrier 360 back in 2017 at one of these FreightWaves events. And really that helped change how supply met demand for us, and many others have continued on that path. You know, it makes it easier for a carrier to conduct business, to search for their freight, to line out their work. It gave an unprecedented level of transparency on the freight that was in our system to those carriers so that they could make better choices on their behalf. And so we think about that, and at the conclusion, we decided that we needed to create a new mission statement at J.B. Hunt. And so we established a new mission statement, which was to create the most efficient transportation network in North America. That really became our North Star when it came to investment and the decisions we made as an organization. We would find ourselves always asking, is that going to help us accomplish our mission? And so that's kind of how we started to think about the business. We moved a little deeper from there, and around 2019, it doesn't feel like it was a tough market in 19, certainly as we stand here today in 24, but 19 wasn't a great market either. But we continued to invest and iterate on those technologies. And we started with a similar product as Carrier 360 by focused on the shipper. And we listened to our customers, and we launched Shipper 360. It carried many of the same attributes of Carrier in terms of benefit. It allowed a customer to book freight easier, to quote freight, to get an unprecedented view of their supply chain from a visibility and tracking and information share. It empowered our customers to make faster and better decisions with respect to their business and their supply chain. We also took a hard look at our truckload division, JBT, which is the roots of J.B. Hunt. Our founders, Mr. and Mrs. Hunt, started 62 years ago. It was largely an over-the-road asset company. And we really had seen the value and power of Carrier 360, giving us access to several 100,000 worth of carrier capacity. And we had a truck line that had several thousand tractors where we owned the trailer, we owned the tractor, and we employed the driver. That was our model. But we let the technology disrupt us, and so we created 360 Box, which is really a product that's focused on a drop trailer network. And it leverages a variety of all capacity types, whether it be our own truck, whether it be a third-party carrier, independent contractors, or the carrier community at large. And you see, we went from several thousands worth of tractors and the ability to make the right choice at the right time to hundreds of thousands, and it really benefited our customers because we had a better solution. We had a way to be more flexible on their behalf. It allowed us to say yes when they had unintended spikes in their freight demands. It allowed us to help them on lanes that we weren't primary because we could leverage that box with third-party carrier capacity. We also took all the learnings from our intermodal business of over 30 years on what it takes to manage a container network, right? And the flow and utilization focus. And we've applied that to our drop trailer network. Lastly, when we think about Carrier 360 in our brokerage segment that's focused largely on live freight, we're able to blend that freight network with our drop network to create and drive efficiencies to close loops so that we can ensure that we maintain our trailer network and keep it as intact as possible. Excuse me. I'm getting a little dry up here. So where has the industry gone today? Customer behaviors are different. You heard Bill talk about a lot of challenges that we face in the industry. We talk about Red Sea and the disruption that occurred. We think about Panama Canal and the congestion that exists. We know that some customers just a few years ago moved all water to the East Coast to create balance and kind of a sense of safety in their networks. And now some of those same customers are making decisions to shift back to the West Coast now that things seem to be a little bit more stable there. We see that there's nearshoring that occurred, and we know that that's going to continue to drive new opportunities coming out of Mexico. But all those things that come in mind, really our customers post-COVID have been resetting, right? There was a lot of reaction going on during COVID. How supply chains were working, where we were going to source products, capacity was tight, and now they're resetting. But one thing is true, and that is it largely comes down to some element of cost, capacity, and service in their decision making. And those will ebb and flow depending on the market we're in, depending on where that specific customer is on their own journey. They might prioritize one of those elements more than another. We saw just, 26, 28 months ago that it was capacity where we saw the greatest amount of concentration of need. And as those priorities may change, it's forced us to think with our customers and listen to our customers about how do we drive value, how do we drive long-term value. And it really, if you think about it, this tech-only approach didn't have the right balance. And so we really feel like we're now in a spot where we've had to get back to center. Again, maybe we were too manual as an industry for decades. Perhaps we invested in technology, and now we find ourselves getting back to center. And so you think about where J.B. Hunt's at today, and it's our customers and what do they need from us, and how do we let cost, capacity, and service drive what our investments need to be to ensure that we're long-term in thought. You know, investments continue to be made. From a recent survey from McKinsey, it suggests that 87% of global shippers and logistics providers continue to maintain or increase their investment over the last 3 years, from 2020 to 2023. Interestingly enough, in that same survey, 93% suggested that they're going to maintain or increase their investment in technology in the forward 3 years. And so what does that look like for J.B. Hunt? As we think about the investments that we make, how do we stay disciplined and make sure that we generate appropriate returns for those investments? How do we ensure that they're the right value? And it really starts and ends with us by listening to our customers. And what are they telling us? You know, we don't want to try and solve for what we think that they might need. We found it extremely valuable, and I hope you pick up on that theme. I think it's an important aspect of my discussion this morning, is the value of making sure that we hear what it is that they're searching for and how do we best provide for that. You know, collaboration is another area that our customers really expect us to engage with them on. And through that collaboration, we were challenged to really address some of the fragmentation that exists when it comes to appointment setting and those types of things. And so we helped assist the creation of the Scheduling Standards Consortium, SSC. Say that 3 times fast with me at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, but through listening to our customers, and the goal was to create a better scheduling process. And so we gathered industry professionals, logistics providers, customers, technology companies, and brought them together as part of the SSC to establish this appointment scheduling API. And if you think about the value that can create by eliminating waste and driving efficiency, it can be significant. If you think about the impact that can have on drivers and their ability to manage their day, you know, it wasn't that long ago, we had an industry white paper that we called 660 Minutes. Maybe some of you have remember reading that. It was focused on the 11 available driving hours per day, and I think it still holds true today that anywhere we look, on average, we typically only consume 6 to 7 hours of driving out of that 11-hour day. And this is a technology that can help drive efficiency, and that helps our drivers through their own efficiency, because that's what they want. They want to run miles. They don't want to be sitting dormant waiting. And so it offers a much greater flexibility for the carriers, for the shippers, and the receivers to drive value. You know, it's through those investments that we continue to think about what does the future hold? Where are we at today in our industry? And you think about artificial intelligence, and we're all probably at different spots with respect to that journey. Some of us are already using AI in certain applications. We're evaluating what applications can make sense for us in the future, and where those investment dollars have the greatest bang for their buck. You know, it's technology that provides the data, but it really is our people working with the technology that create the solution. And so it helps us drive our efficiency in our networks. It empowers our people to spend more valuable time on value-added concepts and needs. It really increases the span of control of our people, and it empowers them to make faster and more informed decisions. You know, we think about that with respect to our people, technology, and capacity. And really, those are some foundations for us at J.B. Hunt. But we think about further investment. where we use and leverage the connectivity of the 360 platform on how we can create value for our customers. You know, we invest in technologies for our tractor equipment. Having close to 23,000 professional drivers that work for J.B. Hunt, that's remarkably important to us, is to be as safe as we can, both for their own benefit and the larger motoring public. And we'll go to no length. And even a decade ago, we first saw forward radar technology. And then we get a little farther down the technology evolution, and there's cameras that are added, both forward-facing, more recently inward-facing, all in an attempt to aid the professional driver in his or her craft to be successful. All in an attempt to ensure that one moment in time where they're perhaps distracted within their routine, that something tragic can occur. How can we prevent those things by leveraging technology? So not just the technologies we use at our corporate offices and working with our customers, but also the technologies that we deploy on equipment so we can be smarter, so we can be more efficient, be more effective. There's great new technologies that give us visibility to the blind spot, right side of the vehicle, that can assist in lane change and the reduction of lane change accidents or on-off ramp instances. So we'll continue to leverage those technologies. You know, when I think about technology, though, I don't think that our customers buy our products and services based on the 90 to 95% of the time things go the way that they were supposed to. I really think they buy our expertise on the 5 to 10% of the time that complications reveal themselves, that challenge ensues. How do we overcome that? One of the things we like to say is that, or I like to say, is that we make hard look easy. How can we overcome those challenges many times when a customer doesn't even realize that they've occurred? That's us working on behalf of our customers. We remain committed to those investments, and we've actually elevated our mission statement that I showed you earlier to create the most efficient transportation network in North America. We've elevated that to our mission statement. Feel like that's more appropriate, considering that a vision is aspirational, and quite frankly, I don't know that we'll ever completely be able to check the box and say we've completed that task. We are now the most efficient, because there'll always be capability to move forward. So we elevated that to vision. And we introduced a new mission statement, which is to create long-term value for our people, our customers, and our shareholders. Now, we were very intentional about people being the first one. And we believe strongly that if we invest in our people, if we equip our people, and if we empower our people, then they're positioned to do incredible things in taking care of our customers. Now, it might sound cliche, but we like to say that everything else will take care of itself. And we strongly believe that, because again, it's our people that can make the difference for us. You know, so despite this long, deep recession that we find ourselves in, it's important to continue to invest. And we've made investments in our own capabilities by expanding our transloading capabilities. We've expanded our cross-border offerings. We've expanded our LTL consolidation capabilities. We announced just last fall here at FreightWaves a joint venture with BNSF called Quantum. Now, Quantum is focused largely on providing customers that best-in-class service with speed and consistency, while at the same time bringing them the benefits of our intermodal offering. Since launch, I'm proud to announce that we have seen on-time performance with that product be in excess of 97% on time. We have a team of professionals, both J.B. Hunt and BNSF, that work together 24/7 for oversight to ensure that as we see things get in the way, we can make changes and make adjustments to still honor our commitments to our customers. We see that we've eliminated one full day of transit versus standard intermodal schedule. And lastly, and I know Bill touched upon this at the end of his time when he talked about sustainability, but there's nothing that we have today that offers a greater sustainability improvement than converting an over-the-road shipment to intermodal. Every time we do that, we reduce carbon emissions by 65%. And we're certainly focused on the future of what EV capability can be. And certainly some of that technology is in play today, and more will come over the next 3, 5, 10 years. But today, point now, there's nothing better that you can do than convert to intermodal. You know, as we stay focused on those long-term investments, really leveraging our suite of services with our complementing and empowering technology that aids our people to really transact on behalf of our customers, that's where we're at today in this cycle. So, you know, where do we go from here? I started talking about the digital-only broker evolution and how that's really transformed into a technology-empowered company, transportation company. You know, we think that if you haven't made proper investments along the way, then you're going to find yourself behind. And so I would challenge you to think about your business and how you can make the proper investments that generate fair return for the customers. We feel like if you don't have that proper balance of people and tech working together and complementing each other, then you're probably behind. You see, we don't believe that the technology can displace the expertise that's required in transportation and supply chain. We believe that it doesn't replace that expertise, it just should complement it. And that's the leverage and power of working with your people. Technology, no doubt, has brought great efficiencies. I like to say it'll enable us to do more with same or same with less. How can we expand that span of control for our people that manage on a day in and day out basis? But it will never truly replace entirely people. Never has a technology created its own innovative solution. It's taken the ideas of our people to bring it home. And when we think about where we believe we are in this current journey, that balance of our people, technology, and capacity is really how you can create long-term value for our customers. I appreciate your time. Everybody enjoy the conference. Thank you so much.